every government agency has like websites where they're posting projects, and there's always a contact person
Mm,
on there. Call them, let them know who you are, what you
mm.
do, and that you're interested in participating in their small business spending, right? You probably won't even have to bid on a single contract, right? Because you've
Mhm.
done the marketing. They know who you are. Sometimes they actually pick up the phone and just start calling people. But if you're not marketing to yourself to them, and they don't know that you're alive, that you exist, then they don't know to call you. How are you going to get yourself? You have to understand, like, the money is already there. The only person that's not there is you if you're not already doing this. And so you have to
Mm.
figure out ways to get yourself in front of the government agencies that are selling this stuff. Like, how do you market yourself? What are you marketing? How do you
Mm.
know? So there's a translation between what we call what we do. Sometimes it's completely different from what the government calls it. And so you have to understand their lingo so that you can market them speaking their market to them speaking their language. But they're already waiting for you. All you have to do is basically raise your hand. So when opportunities come down the pipeline, they're like, hey, we have this contract for 50 million, and
Mhm.
50% of that we have to give to minority owned businesses that are selling let's say construction and trade services or whatever. Then you can kind of identify if you are that minority, if you're a local person, if you're a woman in business, you have that certification. Okay, so now it's time for you to get in front of them and market yourself. Hey, you speak their language. The same thing that they're speaking to you, you say, I am that, right? And so you just really have to have a marketing proposition. Find out who they are at the agencies, who these procurement
Yeah.
officers are
So
that are creating these budgets and stuff.
so how do you do that then? Like, how do you find out?
Yeah, good question. So
You
I
know.
mean, really, I would say pick up the phone. But
Mm.
even if on the websites, like on every government agency has like websites where they're posting projects, and there's always a contact person
Mm.
on there. Call them, let them know who you are, what you
Mm.
do, and that you're interested in participating in their small business spending, right? And so create a list, create an email list, and email them all at once, like to save time, or hire a VA to do all this outreach for you. Because what can really happen for you is that you probably won't even have to bid on a single contract, right? Because you've
Mhm.
done the marketing. They know who you are. Sometimes they actually pick up the phone and just start calling people, especially towards like the end of the fiscal year and towards the beginning of fiscal years for the government. They're like, we have these multiple millions still left over that we got to spend down, and it's not enough businesses that are raising their hands saying, give it to me, right? And so they start calling, hey, do you want this? That's basically ideally what they're, do you want this money? That's what
Right.
they do. But if you're not marketing to yourself to them, and they don't know that you're alive, that you exist, then they don't know to call you. And so marketing is definitely that third step that's important.
So basically, go to these local or even federal government websites.
hmm
And do you feel like it's best to start local or on a national level?
Well, I would
Because that's
say,
going to lead me into the next question.
yeah, I would say kind of like for me, I started local, and then I
Okay.
moved into the state. And so it's just wherever your comfortability is. Like, I mean, there's money, right? Like, you walk outside your house, there's money all around you. You're already in the
Hmm.
city, right?
Hmm.
So it's like you might as well start there. You can, but you don't necessarily have to start in one particular place. You can do them
Right.
all.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So, and the reason I asked that is because, okay, so if we start local and we're putting ourselves, we're picking up the phone, go to their websites, pick up the phone, call these people up. We're letting them know that we're interested, which is part of the marketing piece, right?
hmm
And then from there, once we put ourselves in front of them, it's all about building a relationship at that point, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Got
Absolutely.
you.
hmm
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what would be step number 4 then?
So step number 4 is proposals, right? And so ideally, I would say that there's 2 main ways, although there's multiple ways to get opportunities. There's 2 main ways. The first main way is like I was saying, once you market yourself, sometimes you're just happen to be in their list of businesses that are certified and they start calling you. So that's passive, right? So you'll get passive opportunities. I know people that get passive opportunities all the time without even having to bid on it. And then the other main way that actually helps you get more consistent work is by submitting proposals for the opportunities that they're already posting and saying, we need this, we need this, we need this. So you're looking at those opportunities and you're bidding on it. And that's it. And I also would say that most people don't know that the government buys everything. So I did. That's
what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, they like literally. So a couple months ago, I saw a bid opportunity. I think it was like, I want to say it was about 200, a little over 200,000. Let's say about 200, $250,000 actually. And they were looking for these. This is sticky notes. They were looking to buy sticky notes, like $250,000 contract for sticky notes. And so, and then, paper clips, computers, body cameras, like uniforms. The government buys everything. They buy real estate. They buy photography services, which that's what I sell, video production services, editing, communications. They buy for people to be motivational speakers. They have contracts for that. It's crazy. Like literally, I was actually sharing with my community a $895,000 contract for barber services, right? For cutting hair in the federal prisons. I have clients that sell wigs, prosthetic wigs to the government. And so I have clients that are selling diversity and inclusion trainings to the government, people who are selling notary services to the government.
That's
I know
crazy.
I have friends of friends who have like $2 million contracts selling real estate, like literally real estate to the government. So there's nothing, like the government buys nothing on its own. They always have to buy it and source it from an external business, right? And so with that said, anybody can sell anything to the government.
Yeah. So when they cut you these checks, are there any restrictions on the money when they do cut it to you?
So no. So yes and no. Any restrictions, like as far as what you can do with it? No, there's absolutely no restrictions. However, sometimes, depending on how you do business with the government, so let's just say you want to be the middleman or you want to be a consultant in like sub out work. So the restrictions on something like that, contractual restriction could be that you have to get or perform a certain percentage, either 25 or 50% of the work yourself, and then you can sub out the rest, right? Those dollars can go to an external business. So those are some of the limitations that could happen, but really there's no restrictions.